Thank you, Mr. Loudon. I apologize. Mr. Loudon and I had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Loudon about the DJs and files. My understanding is on accepting the offer and file, requiring him to complete the Senior Restorative Justice Program and the CU Community Living class. This is a DJS for 9 months around.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Allenberg. And I'm going to ask you to watch more sports, because if you watch hockey and baseball and football like I have for 50 years, you'd be better on these names.
I need to watch more hockey in particular.
Hockey is a good one. All right, Mr. Loudon. So you've decided to accept this offer, is that correct?
Yes,
and it is for a deferred judgment. It's for a 9-month term. You'd be pleading guilty to the charge of disrupting quiet enjoyment of the home. You'd be expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice Program and the Community Living class. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. When you do plead guilty, you're giving up your right to trial and all of the other rights I described to the group. Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty?
Oh, yeah.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol today? Do you understand these charges? We'll start with the charge, or just one charge, just the charge of disrupting quiet enjoyment of the home.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you agree there's evidence to support that charge?
Yes.
All right. You are doing this without the benefit of a lawyer to represent you. Are you comfortable going forward without the benefit of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
And do you understand a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty. It is to the charge of disrupting the quiet enjoyment of the home. That's a violation of Section 595 of the Boulder Revised Code, occurring allegedly November 1st of 2025 at 928 10th Street. How do you plead to that charge?
Guilty.
I'll accept that guilty plea. It will be pursuant to the deferred judgment agreement. You'll have the CU Community Living class to complete and the CU Restorative Justice Program to complete. There are $155 in fees and costs. Are you able to pay those today?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions for me?
Is there a form I need to fill out to get these emails for the Restorative Justice Program?
Yeah, we're going to send you to meet with probation. So they're going to give you the documentation that you need to get started. So for the CU Restorative Justice Program and the Community Living class, they're going to give you the contact information to get signed up.
Sounds good.
All right. So 2 rights and then a left will take you into the hallway, and that's where you'll meet with probation.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Loudon. You have a good day, sir.
As well.
And then are you Mr. Moses?
Yes, sir.
All right, you'll be after Ms. Repass, and then we have the other gentleman as well. All right, Ms. Repass, let me take a quick look at what we have for you. You have an offer in the file for a 9-month deferred judgment for 2 charges, having a fraudulent identification and possessing alcohol by someone under the age of 21. If you plead guilty to those 2 charges, you'd be expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice Program, the CU Community Living class, and then do a substance use screen and follow through with whatever is recommended by probation. Is that what you'd like to do?
Can I ask some questions?
You sure can.
I was talking with the gentleman who was sitting here, and I asked if I choose to plead guilty to this, I want to know more details of how it's going to show up on my record in a background check setting. Is it going to show up as a conviction, or is it going to show that I pleaded guilty there?
So right now, the only thing that's in a database that would be part of a background check is nothing. There's nothing that's gone into a system yet. The police department has their file that they've created, and we have our file that we've created. When you plead guilty, we hold the case open for 9 months. At the end of the 9 months, we withdraw the guilty plea, we dismiss the case, and we seal our record, and we instruct the police department to seal their record. So if anybody were to contact either of these agencies after the case has been dismissed, we would both be required to state, by state law, we'd be required to say no such record exists. So there wouldn't be if there was a background check that occurred between now and that 9-month period, if they contacted us, we'd say, yes, there's a deferred judgment that's open right now. If they contacted the police department, they would have to say, yes, we issued a summons on X date. Here's the summons, because the case is still open. But we don't enter a conviction. It stays open. It's just a guilty plea that's been entered. So no conviction enters until it won't ever enter, as long as the case is resolved the way we're planning for it, is to ultimately earn a dismissal.
In that case, I think I will ask for a continuance.
You want to think about it for a little bit?
Yes.
All right. So we can do that. How long do you think you need?
Anything standard? He said it was about a week or 2.
We can give you 2 to 4, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. Do you need to consult with counsel, or what do you think you need to do?
Yeah, probably consult with counsel. The only issue there is I will be home briefly for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Not here, so.
Yeah, we'd be probably setting somewhere in the middle part of December. And I know finals are coming up, so do you plan on being here after finals are over, or are you planning on going back home?
I will go back home for Christmas but I can shorten the visit if necessary.
Well, we can authorize you to appear on your next court date by Zoom. So we can make it wherever you are.
Okay.
So we're going to give you another court date. Do you need to ask the city attorney for discovery? Have you talked to them about getting copies of the police reports? I don't know if you need that or not.
I'm not sure. I'm also not sure if I need it. Can I just?
Why don't you take one of their cards that are on the table there? That way, if you need to contact them to request that, you could do that.
Okay.
Okay. For right now, we'll just send you out front. Our clerks are going to get you that new court date. I've authorized Zoom so you can appear by Zoom video for the next date that you select.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Repass. And Mr. Moses, I have a deferred judgment offer in the file for your case. The offer would be for a 9-month term. You'd be expected to complete the CU Restorative Justice Program, the CU Community Living class, and 12 hours of community service. Have you decided whether you'd like to accept that or not?
I have a few questions.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So basically the same thing that she asked. So if they did call and ask for a background check, would you be able to, would they give detailed like explanation of what the case is, or will they just say there's an open case for this?
It's generally what people have to do is actually make a written request for records for our court. We don't comment over the phone. The only people we talk to over the phone about cases is either defendant or their lawyer. So if an outside party, whether it's a job that you're applying for or school or something like that, if they were interested in knowing what was going on with the case for you, they would have to make a written records request. If they asked for a records request, the court would give them what we have in our file, which is the copy of we have right now. We have a copy of the summons. We do not give the police report, but the back of the summons, which has the notes of what was alleged, we would give them that. And then we would give them any other documents that are in our file, which includes the plea offer that's been made. So those are all considered court records. So the documents would be provided if someone made a written request for a record.
Okay, then I think I would like to accept the offer.
All right. So when you accept the offer, it means you're pleading guilty to the charge as part of the deferred judgment, and you'd be giving up your right to trial and all the other rights I've described. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are you doing that voluntarily today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol? Do you understand this charge that you'd be pleading guilty to? It's the charge of nuisance-party?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree there's evidence to support that charge?
Yes.
You're doing this without the benefit of an attorney to assist you. Are you comfortable going forward without counsel?
Yes.
And do you understand that a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself?
Yes.
I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty. It is to the charge of participating in or hosting a nuisance party. That's a violation of section 5311 of the Boulder Revised Code occurring November 1st, 2025 at 4266 Graham Court. How do you plead to that charge? I'll accept the guilty plea. It will be pursuant to the deferred judgment. It's for a 9-month term. You'll have $165 in fees and costs to pay the court. Then you'll have a $25 community service fee to pay to the university at the SLICE program when you start doing the community service.
Your Honor, in
Yes.
the deferred judgment, it looks like that the city attorney's office might be recommending administrative costs of $0.
Thank you for catching that, Sabrina. Yeah, so they would want you to pay $30 in court costs, but have me waive the rest of the fees.
Yes, Your Honor. That's what I discussed in the background.
So I'm gonna honor that request.
Thank you.
So we'll waive the community service fee, we'll waive the deferred judgment fee, or we'll just reduce that to $30. That's probably the best way, is just reduce the deferred judgment fee to $30.
Actually, as I understand it, my supervisor would
Rather have the $30?
The court costs assessed.
Okay, so we'll impose the $30 in court costs, waive the other fees. So you'll pay $30 to the court in connection with this. You should anticipate that when you go to do your community service on campus, they're going to charge you $25 to monitor your community service. So just be aware of that when you go to see them.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments that you'd like to make?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Moses is going to send you back to meet with probation. You're going to make 2 rights and a left to the end of the hallway. Probation will go over all of this with you and then get you on your way.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
And I believe after speaking with Ms. Bottenfield, she intends to just simply plead guilty as charged today. So we are just simply asking that restitution be reserved and we'll file the appropriate paperwork as well.
And does the city have a position with respect to an evaluation?
So we discussed at length whether or not an evaluation would be ordered. This case does involve an aggressive cat. Bit unusual, but it's my understanding that the Humane Society of Boulder Valley does do evaluations for aggressive cats. So we are certainly open to that, but I believe Ms. Bottenfield will be speaking with you directly about her also considering either relinquishing her cat to the Humane Society for, rehoming or training or what have you, or simply euthanizing him.
Okay, so a lot of
We're
different,
not requiring.
you're not asking that as part of the
Just that
plea.
restitution be reserved and Your Honor.
Okay. All right, thank you for all of that, Ms. Huff. Okay, Ms. Bottenfield, so is that correct that you decided you want to go ahead and plead guilty to this charge?
Yes.
All right, when you plead guilty, you're giving up your right to trial and all of the other rights that I've described to the group. Are you comfortable doing that? Are you doing that voluntarily today?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol?
No.
Do you understand this charge of having an aggressive animal?
Yes, I do.
Do you agree that there's evidence to support the charge?
Absolutely.
You're doing this without the benefit of a lawyer to assist you. Are you comfortable going forward without the benefit of a lawyer?
Yes.
And do you understand that a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself? I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty. It is to the charge of having an aggressive animal, which is prohibited by section 6120 of the Boulder Revised Code, occurring October 22nd of 2025 at the 5800 block of South Orchard Creek Circle. How do you plead to that charge?
Yes.
I'll accept the guilty plea. I'm going to take just a moment to read the report here. That way I have an idea of what was alleged. And it looks like we're talking about Guthrie. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I've read enough to give myself a sense of what the circumstances are. And it would be a circumstance where I would want there to be an evaluation of the cat, assuming that you decided that you wanted to keep the cat. You would have to go through the evaluation process. And it is possible that the Humane Society might say, hey, I don't think there is a program that we can offer. And that they might say, our recommendation would be euthanization. So
Yes,
that's a possibility.
That's my feeling, is because it's quite serious. It's very serious.
Right.
And I wouldn't think that they could find another home for him.
Not likely. No, I think it wouldn't be a rehoming
I
situation.
doubt that they couldn't.
No, I know their policy is that if especially with dogs, but I would think it'd be consistent with cats as well, is that if an animal is pled guilty to an aggressive animal charge, they just don't feel comfortable adopting the animal out. So
That's
they're,
right.
yeah. So
That's right.
I think your options would be, you could have the evaluation, see what they said. And they may say, okay, we won't ask the judge to order euthanization, but we want all these conditions to be satisfied, which might mean not allowing the cat to be outside,
Exactly.
And that's a hard thing to do with a cat, is to try to keep it inside if it's used to being out.
Sometimes get out.
Yeah.
And so if I'm responsible, I can't let that happen, because of the severity. And that's not gonna go away, even if they do an evaluation. I don't see that, his history is gonna go away. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I see the point in doing an evaluation.
Here's what I could do.
Okay.
If you wanted to go forward with, I could schedule sentencing, and then direct you to either have an evaluation or to euthanize your animal prior to sentencing and give me proof. If you came back for sentencing with proof that the cat had been euthanized, then there would be very little for me to do at sentencing except to impose a fine for the underlying charge. And that would be pretty standard, that I do impose a fine of some sort in connection with the guilty plea, and that would occur at sentencing. But I don't see any other option unless you wanted to agree right now that you're going to euthanize the animal by a certain date, then I could impose sentence today. And you wouldn't have to come back to court, but the sentence would include an order to you that requires you to have your animal euthanized, humanely euthanized by a date certain.
I think that I need to have him euthanized. Just given the fact that if I had an outdoor enclosure, he could get out, or if I keep him inside, he could get out, and he's, you know, he doesn't like being inside either, so.
Is he inside right now? Do you have him in a place where he's?
No, I had him go through the quarantine for the 10 days, and then the officer told me that I could let him out, and so I have been letting him out for a few hours each day, then keeping him in for the rest of the day and the night. But even in a few hours, something can happen, so that's rather insignificant, so. You know, and keeping him in really isn't an option, given the nature of the animal, so I think I do need to euthanize him.
Okay. How long do you think you need in order to get that set up and accomplished?
A week,
Okay.
is that reasonable? And I mean, I don't want to let him out. I would want to do it and not let him out, because I don't want another incident to occur.
Right. I think you'll need to keep him inside for the.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I'd say a week or less.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to impose a fine, but is there anything else you want to tell me before I set the fine in the case?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm going to impose a large fine, suspend most of it. $1,000 fine, but $900 is suspended. So you'll have $100 fine to pay and then $30 in court costs. I always suspend a large fine, meaning you don't have to pay that part of the fine. And the reason that I do that is to ensure that there won't be other violations. So I suspend that on the condition that you have no similar violations of aggressive animal for a 12-month period. I'm not going to place you on probation because I don't think there'll be much for our probation officer to do. I am going to have you meet with her briefly because I'm going to put the only condition of the sentence here is that the defendant to euthanize Guthrie by, I'm going to say November 28th. Which is a week from Friday. So it gives you about 10 days. You may want to do it much sooner, but by that date, you'll have to provide proof of that to our probation officer.
Okay.
So whenever documentation you get from the agency that performs that. And I'm so sorry, I'm talking very generically about this without much emotion, but I know it can be very emotional for people. Even if your animal has been one that's you agree needs to be euthanized. It's not an easy decision to make for anybody. So I understand that. All right. So if you provide proof to probation, there won't be anything else except to not have another circumstance of an aggressive animal. And I don't know if you have any other animals. So that'll be the only condition you have to satisfy during the next 12-month period. So there is no animal probation fee in my mind. We're going to reserve restitution, which is the out-of-pocket expenses incurred by the other party for 63 days. So probation will work with the city attorney's office to send out a letter to the other person. And then it'll be their responsibility to provide proof of any expenses that they've incurred associated with this incident.
Right.
You'll get a letter saying this is the amount that's been requested.
Okay.
If you agree to that amount, you simply pay it to probation and then we forward that amount to the individual.
Okay.
If you disagree on the amount, then you can have a hearing in front of me to determine whether that's the correct amount.
Okay.
Just let probation know you'd want a hearing on that.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Sure.
Any questions for me?
No, so I pay a fine today.
The $130 balance, that's right.
Okay.
And then I'm going to send you to see probation right now, just so you'll have contact information. You'll meet with either Fernanda or Dara. They'll go over all this with you. They'll be the one person that you'll be providing proof that you've had gone through that euthanization process for your cat.
And where do I go to?
Yep. 2 rights will take you behind this wall here. And then to the left is to the end of that hallway is where probation is waiting for you.
Okay, and I do that before I pay the fine?
They're going to work with you on that payment, yes.
Okay.
They'll either collect it from you or have you meet with staff up front to
Okay,
pay it
so
before you
2
leave.
rights and a left?
That's exactly right.
Okay, thank you very much. I
Thank you, Ms.
appreciate it.
Bonfield. Take care.
Thank you. Yes, can we recall Michael Martindale's case?
Yes, Mr. Martindale has come forward. Go ahead, Ms. Sun.
Go on, Karen.
So I was speaking a bit with Mr. Martindale and Mr. Adams about Mr. Martindale's progress recently with getting rehoused and some of the stability items that he's accomplished recently. And given the unusual facts leading to this non-community court eligible charge, I believe we've reached a resolution for a 6-month deferred judgment sentence, which I've uploaded to Mr. Martindale's file. Those 2 main conditions of scheduling an appointment with the Boulder County workforce, and then the second condition being that he attend that appointment with the workforce. And I believe he'll be connecting with Mr. Adams later to complete at least one of those conditions for us this week.
Great. All right, Mr. Martindale, it sounds like you've got a good agreement. Is that how you'd like to proceed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Before I accept a guilty plea in any case, I have questions that I have to ask every defendant, so I have to make sure it's a voluntary decision to plead guilty. Are you choosing to plead guilty to this charge of obstructing a peace officer? Are you doing that voluntarily?
Yeah.
Is anybody forcing you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you under the influence of any medications or drugs or alcohol today?
No.
And do you understand the charge?
Yes,
Do you agree that there's evidence to support the charge?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. You're doing this all without the benefit of a lawyer to assist you. Are you comfortable going forward without the benefit of a lawyer?
Yeah,
Do you understand that a lawyer might do a better job of representing you than you do representing yourself?
yes,
I am going to find that it's a free and voluntary decision to plead guilty. This is the charge of obstructing a peace officer in violation of section 553 of the Boulder Revised Code occurring October 31st of 2025 at 28th and Iris. How do you plead to that charge, sir?
guilty,
I'll accept the guilty plea. We'll place you on the deferred judgment. You'll have the requirement to make and then keep the scheduled appointment with Boulder County workforce. It'll be for a 6-month term. I'm going to waive the fees and costs associated with the deferred judgment. Do you have any questions for me?
no,
All right. So the next step of the process is for you to meet with probation. So I'm going to send you back to that area. You're going to make 2 rights and a left to the end of the hallway. And either Fernanda, who's in the courtroom here, or Dara will meet with you in just a few moments to go over all this with you. And then it'll be your responsibility to get proof that you've scheduled that appointment. I think you'll be doing that
right,
probably with Sebastian, so he can share that information with our probation team. And then once you keep it, make sure that Sebastian knows you've completed that
Right.
appointment so that he can forward that information along to our staff.
Okay.
All right, 2 rights and a left to the end of the hallway. Thank you, Mr. Martindale.